name is Alexandra Topalsky. I'm a co-founder of the African Art in Venice Forum and the African Art Dialogues. I just wanted to provide a nice greeting and to introduce Moky Makura, the executive director of African No Filter, and my other African Art Venice and African Art Dialogue colleagues, Azza Satti and Neri Torcello. We have an exciting program today, and we'd also like to acknowledge the generous contributions of our sponsors, Strauss & Co., African No Filter, as well as Ignite Culture, ACP, European Union Commission on Culture and Creativity, the HEVA Fund, and the British Council. Through their support, live streaming and recording of this year's African Art in Venice Forum is made possible. I'll now turn to Moky Makura for the comments.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the forum. So I get to say a few words because I'm one of the sponsors, but I'm not your normal sponsor. And I want to start my little 3 minutes with a question. When I say Africa, what are the words that come to your mind? There's always many Nigerians in the room, and I'm representing today. But with a lot of people, and maybe not those of you in this room because you're here today, when we say Africa, a lot of people think about poverty, about corruption, conflict, disease, and poor leadership. It's led to a narrative about Africa being a broken continent, one that has no agency to create the change, and one that is dependent. And African No Filter is working on changing that narrative, and that is actually why we're here today. Because Africa is so much more than those words. It's so much more than that framing. There is creativity, there is innovation. And the reason why we're here is that Africa and Africans deserve to be on global stages like this one. And that's exactly why we're here today. I'm a proud African, and I really believe that what we have to offer the world is so underestimated. There is so much more. And I think that from an art perspective, from a music perspective, from our film, theatre, there is so much that we can do to change the way the world sees Africa and how Africa sees itself. And art is one of the leading ways that we're doing that. And I think there isn't necessarily a physical space that's an African pavilion, but I think there's a growing number of country pavilions from Africa that are representing great artists today. So all I want to say is thank you. Thank you for being interested. Thank you for being here today and helping us take the message that Africa is creativity. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. My name is Azza. Again, thank you, Alex, for introducing me and us. So I'm a co-founder of the Africa Arts in Venice Forum and AAD, and it is really exciting to have you all in this room with us. And after what Moky said, I think it's very important for us to have these conversations here, but also going back and how do we continue these conversations. And I think every 2 years this forum happens. For me, it's a bit sad, and I just wanted to share something with you that yesterday was 1 year since the war in Khartoum, Sudan happened. And after evacuating 48 family members through Ethiopia and Egypt, a traumatic experience in Uganda, the next thing that we have to do, especially as a creative agent, is the artist, the soul of my country. The creative, the heritage, as everybody knows in Sudan, is Nubian heritage of many centuries, but also contemporary art market of beautiful people who have been working tirelessly to still have creative expression after a very tough regime. And I was very happy with me and my very good colleague Rahim Shaddad to evacuate young artists and creatives out of Khartoum. We did a lot of fundraising where we were able to give them fuel and as well network to see how can they get out to Ethiopia, to Egypt and in Kenya. And once they have done that, which is great, is as well rescue as much of the art of their work. Because again, that's how the footprint of our history is there. And now for the past about 9 months, me and my colleague have been creating a space called The Rest. It's a residency and a space of rest for the artists to come, but also it means the rest of us, those who are left behind. And it's been a very impactful and beautiful space where people can talk and as well talk about, we have counseling, healing, because one of the artists said, I cannot paint anymore. I've really been through a lot. And so we have group therapies and therapy, but also assistant, how can they locate themselves within Nairobi? And now that the rest is in Nairobi, as well, we'd love to, of course, in Uganda, speaking conversations here with Darlene about how can we do that in Kampala with the artists, as well in Cairo and Addis. And so I just invite you to actually think as well, if we're not in the news, we're still here as artists from the continent. And I'm sure the same thing is happening in places like Congo and Palestine. And we are in the news when it's important, and when we're no longer in the news, I think it's very important for us to continue the work and having the support of neighboring countries. So thank you very much. And it's spaces like this where we can say that we need to continue the conversation on how to not only just rescue art, but also keeping the soul of our countries and our continent alive. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Azza, and thank you, dear Moky, for being here, and Africa No Filter for supporting us with your generous grant. Thank you also to our esteemed sponsors, Strauss & Co., who supported us throughout the years since the very first edition, and they really believed in us. Many thanks to Unite Culture, ACP, and the European Culture and Creativity Commission, HEDA Fund, and British Council for making it possible for this event to be streamed live and recorded this year. So, hello everyone, wonderful souls, art enthusiasts, fellow people. Welcome to the first edition of the African Art in Venice Forum, where we hope we will embark on a journey toward narrative transformation and self-determination. We will delve into the agency of African organizations, individuals, and institutions in reshaping Western platforms. We will stand at the intersection of tradition and innovation this year, where history converges with boundless possibility. This year, our journey will traverse time, oscillating between past and present and backward. And we hope these will inform our future. At African Art Dialogues, we want to reaffirm our commitment to forging pathways that celebrate the rich diversity and authenticity of African cultures and arts. We envision a future where African voices resonate powerfully, where African stories are told with integrity and depth, and where African creative expressions are not filtered through the lens of Western approval. Interestingly, we believe it is within our participants' grasp to disrupt the status quo and to challenge the entrenched hierarchies that dictate who is seen or heard on the global stage. As we embark on this journey, we want to embrace the multiplicity of African cultures, of African communities, and their diasporas, honoring the wisdom and knowledge they embody. We want to acknowledge with you all the potential within each of them to effect change, to shape a new narrative that transcends borders and barriers. Today, we gather not only to dialogue, but to catalyze action, to ignite a movement that amplifies African voices and perspectives. Of course, we're here not just to compensate for the lack of representation in a Western platform, but to be part of a dialogue that exists regardless. Our participants' presence itself is a statement, challenging dominant narratives and advocating for an equitable, inclusive, and democratic global cultural and artistic dialogue. So let us seize this moment and chart a course towards a future where cultural and artistic expression flourishes unfettered by external validation, where individual and collective agency towards change knows no bounds, and where each voice rings out with clarity and resonance. So thank you for joining us on this transformative journey.